What's up, future Daniel? Starting up this online journal for just to kind of get my thoughts out there, and also to be able to compare myself to what I was in the past, my thoughts of the future, and reflect. Partially because right now I'm 21. I'm in my third year of my undergraduate degree. It's 2025, and I've started a couple things like posting online on TikTok, journaling, reading every single day. There's a couple of big projects along the way that I'm doing on right now, and also we have that big international exchange coming up too. And so there's a lot of things coming up that I think are going to shift my beliefs and my worldview and my perspective. And so how I am right now as a 21-year-old, about to turn 22 in a couple months, and compare that with a 23 or a 24-year-old version of myself, I think is going to be really interesting to see. Another big reason as to why I wanted to do this right now is because there's been a huge shift in my ideology, which is the fact that I no longer believe in the impossible. There's a couple things, there's caveats to that, obviously. A couple things is that, like you can't get super jacked within 5 days, and you can't like literally fly, or you can't be Spider-Man as much as I want to be. But I believe that as long as you work towards something and as long as you have goals, it is possible. And the huge realization I think came to me a couple of days ago, when I was talking about my MCAT results with a friend of mine, and we were talking about it. And I was saying like, oh, I didn't really get the mark that I wanted, and I was feeling bummed out about it, obviously. And he was like, well, did you try your best? And so I was, I thought and pondered about that for a little bit, and I responded with, I think I worked and tried on the MCAT as hard as I did anything else in my life, probably the most effort I put into something. But then he stopped me and he said, did you try your best? And the answer probably to that question is no. And it really struck kind of deep with me, is that I think myself and a lot of people that I know and a lot of people out there in the world are kind of comfortable with failure. We're kind of comfortable with mediocrity. We're comfortable trying hard to that point where you gain a little bit of success in certain areas, but you're not all right successful, and that you don't try your 100% best, and you're okay with being close. You're okay with being second. You're okay with being third. And it's the same for me too. So I did, I did a lot of reflecting, and I realized that, yeah, my friend is right. What if I had exhausted all of my efforts? Then could I probably have gotten the target score that I wanted? Yeah, probably. If I didn't play as many video games as I did when I was studying, if I didn't take on 2 jobs and I focused solely on my MCAT when I was studying, if I were to keep myself accountable and did a bunch of other things and did more practice questions, could I have gotten a better score than I did? 100%. 100%. And it's the same with almost anything. Could I, for instance, I had no clue about how to invest at all, or anything about the stock market whatsoever. And so I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna really try to and trying to learn and educate myself. And in the past 3 days, I have successfully learned a lot about the stock market and invested a couple grand into it now. My friend, who also plays piano but is much worse than me at piano, learned a song that is way harder than I've ever learned in my life, just because of sheer hard work. And so I no longer believe in the impossible. I think as long as you try as hard as you can and exhaust all of your efforts, in the long run, you're going to end up succeeding. Which is a good news for me, because as hopefully in a couple years, I'll be in med school, I'll be learning how to help people and learning how to do surgeries. Currently, my dream is to be a trauma surgeon. Maybe that will change, but I hope that's where I end up. So that's a good news for me, because maybe right now, kind of, sort of, I think I'm a little bit less than average than the average of applicants to try to get into med school. But again, I no longer believe in the impossible, and I think that's a great ideology to live with. I think that's how I'm going to treat life, and yeah, I'm excited to see where things end up, where I'll end up in a couple years, and hopefully it is in med school. Yeah, but yeah, I no longer believe in the impossible. I sound like a broken record saying that all the time. But as long as you work hard, and as long as you stay dedicated, disciplined, motivated, exhaust all of your efforts, and have one focused goal and a clear cut path on how to get there, I think you'll get there. Yeah, so I'll probably update more journal entries later on. But until then, stay on the grind. Peace.